So welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas, and I've been involved in alternative investments for a long time, at least the last 30 years. So I'm going to tell you give you a little background on that. My original investments were in rental properties, houses. Then from there I graduated to doing apartments. From there I graduated to doing commercial. But when I learned about tax liens and deeds 30 years ago, when I saw the margin between buying for back taxes and selling for somewhere around a retail price, I knew I could make money going into the business. Was that a good thing? Well, I'm going to tell you, it was great. So stay with me and I'll give you some insights into the business that I'm in, and I'll show you an alternative investment, and I'll show you how to start your own portfolio of investments. Because once you learn how to do this, you can do this again and again. Now, people jokingly say, rinse and repeat. But this business works perfectly that way, and you can do one deal and then end up getting paid for as much as 10 years or even 20 if you wanted to. So there's a lot of investment programs out there, a lot of stock market things. There's a lot of things that you could do in insurance. There's a lot of things you could do with options and what have you. This is an alternative to all that. But once you learn it, you can do it for the rest of your life. So just kind of open up your mind. We'll let a lot of new information fall in. And when you see how this works, you're going to understand that you could be getting checks. That's right. For up to a decade after you made the first deal. So this is kind of a nice way to make money. All right, now, up until now, I had done what I call traditional real estate. So when I say now, up until I started doing tax liens and tax deeds. So the beauty of this business was I could enjoy the benefits for a long time, but the most important thing was I knew I could make money the day I started. I didn't have to wait for regular real estate to appreciate or the rents to go up or the markets to change. I was going to make money day one. I'm going to show you things I've done over the last 30 years that you can do and you can learn in a very short period of time. I'll be right back. Today what I'm doing is I'm answering your question, how to start your own investment portfolio. Now, I know you want to do things on your own. That's why you're watching the videos. This is perfect for you. So 30 years ago, I discovered tax liens and tax deeds. I've never looked back because I realized day one I could make a profit. The day I purchased, I knew I could make a profit because I could buy at such low prices. Now, the business I'm talking about has been around for over 200 years. I didn't create it. It's government mandated and government managed. But it's a system that always works. Now, what do you need to get involved? You just need to learn how to get the skills, get yourself a few dollars, and you're going to be off to the races. All right, now this is not difficult, but it's going to take some study, and you're going to have to learn how. It's been around for 200 years, so this is a safe, secure kind of business, all right? Nothing to do with stocks, nothing to do with bonds, nothing to do with buying franchises downtown. It's nothing to do with buying a management problem. This is a challenge of you learning how to do it. Once you know how to do it, you can go out and start making money right away. All right, so I want to give you a warning before you go any further. What we're talking about now is how to start your own investment portfolio. Now, if you're a person, this is the warning, and you need a broker to do all the work for you, well, you're going to have to think about that because this is entrepreneurial. You need to do this yourself. So if you need to spend hours doing due diligence, well, this is a business you can look at it, understand it completely within an hour, and be able to go to work. But if you're a person that needs brokers and advisors and a lot of things like that, you want to make yourself a sanitary environment, you can do that, but that's not too entrepreneurial. This is alternative real estate. You're going to purchase it from the government, and that government is going to sell properties that are slightly used and abused. However, they're going to sell them for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Now, you don't have time to study the property that's up there now, but that's a pretty good little property. Actually, water the grass a little bit, clean out, get those things out of the window. If it isn't destroyed on the inside, that's a property that would sell quickly because you can see the tall trees, so it's probably a decent neighborhood. But, you know, at some of these, you're going to get your hands and your boots dirty. You don't want to get involved in one of these properties unless you get boots on the ground. All right, so what am I discussing today? I'm going to discuss tax deeds and tax liens. This is a government-mandated program. The process was created by the local legislature. It's as simple as this. If people don't pay their tax, guess what? The tax collector is going to confiscate the property, seize the property, and is going to kick them out. What are they going to do with the property? Well, I can assure you the government doesn't want the property. All right, now why didn't these people pay their tax? I don't know. But I can tell you there'll be 5,000 tax auctions this year. That means there's plenty of opportunity to do. But every person in America must pay property tax. And if you do, you have the privilege of owning property. Now, what can you do with your property? Well, you could build houses on it if you wanted. You could raise cattle, crops. You could do anything you want with your property. But there's one thing that you must do. You must pay property tax. And unfortunately, 2.5 million people in the United States don't pay their property tax every year. I said 2.5 million. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity. So the local government has an obligation to make sure that county employees get paid, the school teachers get paid, and so on. So you're getting the idea. So they're going to collect that property tax. Now, how did the local government get the chance to do all this? Well, the legislature of every state makes the rules. They call them statute, okay? Now, the legislature requires everybody to pay tax. If you don't pay your tax, then they authorize the Board of Supervisors, county commissioners, tax collector to seize your property, to take it and resell it. Now, when they resell it, they're going to resell it for the back taxes. Wow. For the back taxes, and they're going to delete the mortgage. They're going to wipe it out. They're going to cancel the mortgage. Now, just think about that. Buying a property for 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar, and there's no mortgage. Now, I didn't make these rules. The legislature made those rules. All right? They tell the county commissioners or the Board of Supervisors, get the treasurer out there, levy the tax, collect the tax. If you can't collect the tax, then confiscate the property and sell it at auction. Folks, they don't want the property. They've got all the property they could ever want. They own all the parks, they own office buildings, they own schools. They don't want it. So they're just going to get rid of it. So in order to get rid of it at an auction, they price it as very close to the back taxes. Now, taxes are a very small amount of what the property's worth. So they're going to sell property at 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar with no mortgage. Now, how would it be if you could get one of those properties? If you bought a property for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, you know you could sell it for 40 cents, 50 or 80 cents on the dollar. So you know day one that you got a business because you bought at the right price, and there's going to be margin between that and the selling price. So you know day one whether you're going to make money. How do you know you're going to make money? Because number one, you know you bought it right, and you know you can sell it at a price higher than that. All right, it's entrepreneurial, yes, but you're looking for a business that you can do that's not going to go away. This has been around for 200 years. Think about what I just said. So now we're talking about buying properties at these auctions and getting discounts of 60, 70, 80% discount. Now you tell me, if you could buy anything for an 80% discount, could you mark it up a little bit and sell it? Well, there's 3,000 counties in the United States, plus 3,000 plus counties. They all have auctions, and another 1,400 municipalities have auctions. This is a way that you can make money. Now, the beauty of this business is when the county sells the property, what they do is the county erases, they delete, they X out, they cancel, any word you can think of. They're going to wipe out the mortgage on that property. So now you bought 60, 70, 80% discount, and it's got no mortgage. Your chances of having an upside are pretty darn good. Just think of where you get started. All right, so what did I talk about here? I'm talking about starting bids at auctions. Now, some of these auctions are going to have 25 or 50 properties. If you go to a place like Los Angeles, they'll have 2,000 properties. Okay, this is a business that you can bid at properties, and you can do it continuously. And once you know how to do it, and then you can resell them, now you can build a whole portfolio of these properties, or you can have a business of buying them and reselling them. So this works, and it's always worked. All right, now the county is very happy to sell the property for pennies. Why? Because that property now will go back on the tax roll, and now the new buyer will be paying taxes. And what does the county want you to do? They want you to pay taxes so they can pay their employees, so they can pay the police, so they can pay the fire, so they can pay the school teachers. You're kind of getting the idea, I'm sure. So the county wants to get the property back on the honorable tax roll list. So they're just going to discount it and get rid of it. Now, I'm telling you, this is a lucrative business. So what are we trying to learn today? We're trying to learn about a portfolio building business. If you wanted to have 10 of these, 20 of these, I have clients that in 6 years' time have bought as many as 60 and resold them and then ended up as the banker collecting money from 60 of the different properties. You can do the same thing. All right, now tax liens and tax deeds have been around for years. I just learned about it in the last 30 years. So if you want to avoid big mistakes, you just need to get the skills and learn how to do this. And one of the things you always want to do is you want to make sure that if you're going to buy these properties, that you see the property. Are we talking about a tough business? No. It's a simple business. You make your money when you buy. When you look at the property, you know if you can get it for X price, 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar, that you could sell it for something more than that. So maybe you bought it for 20 cents on the dollar, you sold it for 50 cents on the dollar. Would your property sell for 50? Well, if the whole market's selling for 100 and you can sell for 50, you figure that out. So this is a business that you can build a portfolio. Folks, I've been involved in the tax lien and deed business for 30 years. So let me give you a warning ahead of time. The warning is this. If you need a broker to do all the work for you, or you need an investment advisor to do all the work for you, then this probably isn't the business for you. We're going to teach you how to do the due diligence you need to do and how to check the property. So we're not going to ever avoid that. This is a property, if the person didn't look at it, they might have made a much higher bid. All right, some properties might be damaged for some reason. I don't know, but if you have boots on the ground, you're going to be A-okay and not worry about it. The second warning I'm going to give you is you want to start your own investment portfolio. All right, if you're going to start an investment portfolio, you want to start it at the right prices. You want to buy right. This is a business where you make all your money when you buy, not when you sell. Okay, so that means you don't want to overbid. So you won't overbid if you look at the property, you know what you're going to buy it for, and then you'll be able to determine what you're going to sell it for. Easy to figure out what you're going to sell it for because you find out what the neighborhood is. You can end up with 10, 20, 30 of these properties in a very short period of time. This is an alternative investment where you can have your own portfolio. All right, now, there's lots of television shows out there, and people are telling you, look, we're going to fix these properties up, and they show you sort of a rundown property, used and abused, and then the next thing you know, there's a pretty girl there, and what is she doing? She's telling you, oh, they're going to fix it up, and there's a whole crew there of men knocking down walls, crashing through the concrete driveway and breaking it up, and saws are going, and noise, and crashing, and banging, and all that, and suddenly, that property, which was a mediocre property, is transformed. In 29 minutes, it's transformed to a mini mansion. Well, folks, you can do that. You just have to have a ton of money. But there's an easier way. Why not buy it at rock bottom prices and then sell it to the people that want to do that? So I'm talking about building a portfolio that has cash coming in, not cash going out. And if you're fixing up houses, you're not going to do that for people with $10 an hour. The people you're going to need are going to be professionals, and they're going to cost a lot of money. So if you want to have a house that's significantly higher than the market, well, just fix a few of them up, and you'll see it's very difficult to stay under the market. We buy it as low as possible, and then we sell it under the market so that we're passing on some of our profit to everyone else. I know everybody in real estate says buy it low, sell it high. I'm not that guy. I'm saying buy it low and sell it low and get your cash, or buy it low, sell it low, and be the banker and get payments on the property. Either way, you'll make yourself a ton of dough. I want to know the minute I buy that I've got margin and I can make money in the property. So this is how to start your own investment portfolio. So I get to know the auction. I get to know the process. I watch the process. There's going to be too many auctions. 3,000 counties, but there'll be 5,000 auctions. Think about that. 5,000 auctions. Now, what I like about it more than anything is that once I have more than one property, I can sell one, and then the other one I can go ahead and wholesale out for cash. Then I can do it again. Every time I get some extra, I'll buy one, and then I'll sell it, and then I'll be the banker, and I'll collect payments on that. All right, so when you want to collect payments, think about that. Who are you going to sell it to? You're going to sell it to people that don't have good credit. They have poor FICO scores. Those people need money. What do you need a check for? Do they have a good job, and do they have some money? They might not be able to finance with the bank, but why wouldn't you finance? Give you a nice down payment and a monthly payments. You have to think that out. So part of building a portfolio is learning a little bit about contracts. Not a lot. You can go to a title company and get every contract you want. Or, obviously, you can hire an attorney. I'm not negative on an attorney, but if you go to a title company, they'll have all the same material, and they'll do everything for you, and it'll be legal and eagle. I told you, and I want to make sure to tell you again, Don't buy a property unless you've had boots on the ground. Why? Because there could be a fire. It could be next to a chicken farm. It could be a property that's been destroyed by a windstorm or something like that. So don't buy anything that you haven't had boots or somebody you know boots on the ground. The other big mistake people make is a serious one. They get involved in a bidding war at the auction. They start bidding against somebody. Folks, you're not there to win the auction. You're there to make the best deal. So what you want to do is always know what your exit strategy is. If you notice what I do, I want to buy it, but before I buy it, I figure out when I'm going to sell it. That's my exit strategy. I'm Ted Thomas.